What if Rhaegar, the crown prince, the man destined for greatness, had been the one standing victorious at the Trident, not Robert Baratheon? How would the Targaryen dynasty have been affected? What would that mean for Robert's rebellion, the fate of key characters like Lyanna Stark and Jon Snow, and ultimately, the entire future of Westeros? In today's video, we'll explore how Westeros might have looked under a Targaryen victory at the Trident, by examining 5 major aspects. First, the immediate consequences of Rhaegar's victory. Second, the reign of Rhaegar as king. Third, the fate of Lyanna Stark. Fourth, how Daenerys Targaryen's life might have changed in this alternate timeline. And finally, how all of this might have affected the looming threat from beyond the wall, the White Walkers. Let's start with the immediate consequences of Rhaegar's victory at the Trident. In our timeline, Robert Baratheon, with his powerful warhammer, dealt the killing blow to Rhaegar, ending the Targaryen dynasty's hopes of regaining control. But in this alternate scenario, let's imagine that Rhaegar triumphs instead. He slays Robert Baratheon, the key figurehead of the rebellion. What happens next? The defeat of Robert at the Trident would have broken the morale of the rebel forces. Robert Baratheon wasn't just another warrior. He was a symbol of the rebellion's strength and legitimacy. With him dead, the rebellious Stormlands, the North, and the Vale would likely have faltered. Many lords might have quickly reconsidered their positions, knowing that Rhaegar, alive and victorious, could bring the full might of the Iron Throne upon them. Stannis Baratheon, Robert's younger brother, may have been an excellent tactician, but without Robert, the rebellion would lose its heart. Jon Arryn and Ned Stark, both key supporters of the rebellion, might have retreated to defend their homes, but they would know that continuing the fight would be a losing cause. Rhaegar, on the other hand, would likely act swiftly to consolidate his power. Would Rhaegar have shown mercy? Possibly. Rhaegar was known for his sense of justice and fairness, quite different from his father, the Mad King. He might have offered clemency to lords like Ned Stark and Jon Arryn in exchange for their loyalty, aiming to quickly stabilize the realm rather than spark a prolonged civil war. But this victory wouldn't come without its challenges. Rhaegar would have to face the fallout from the rebellion while proving himself as the new ruler. Now, let's move on to the second point. Rhaegar's reign as king. Assuming Rhaegar emerges victorious, his ascension to the Iron Throne would signal the end of the Targaryen dynasty's instability. But what kind of king would Rhaegar have been? Rhaegar Targaryen was not his father. Aerys II was paranoid, erratic, and cruel, a ruler whose reign had spiraled into madness. Rhaegar, on the other hand, was thoughtful, philosophical, and introspective. Known for his interest in prophecy, Rhaegar believed in destiny, particularly in the idea of the prince that was promised, a savior who would bring balance to the world. His reign would have been characterized by a deep sense of purpose. Rhaegar was also a man of balance. He understood the need for unity in the realm. To repair the damage done by his father, he might have sought to rebuild the trust between the Iron Throne and the great houses. His policies could have been far more diplomatic, focused on mending relationships and creating stability across the 7 kingdoms. In contrast to his father, Rhaegar might have opened up dialogues with discontented houses. Given his prophetic nature, he might have paid more attention to the signs from the north. Perhaps he would have strengthened the Night's Watch or looked for allies in the north, knowing that an existential threat was on the horizon. This forward-thinking mindset could have led to a very different approach to dealing with the White Walkers. Compared to what we saw with Robert Baratheon's focus on consolidating power and the day-to-day politics of the realm. Next, let's talk about Lyanna Stark. What if she survived in this alternate reality? If Rhaegar had won the Battle of the Trident, Lyanna Stark's fate would become a critical issue. Now, with Robert gone and Rhaegar victorious, Lyanna might have become more than a captive. She could have become his queen. In this scenario, it's likely that Rhaegar would have sought an annulment from his wife, Ilia Martell, to legitimize his union with Lyanna. This, of course, would have caused a political firestorm, especially with Dorne, as Ilia was a princess of that proud and powerful region. But Rhaegar may have believed that Lyanna's love and the potential child she carried, Jon Snow, or as we should call him, Aegon Targaryen, was worth the risk. Would Lyanna, a Northern Stark, have survived the politics and intrigue of King's Landing as Rhaegar's queen? Possibly. Her marriage to Rhaegar might have been controversial, but as the mother of the new Targaryen heir, her position would have been secure. This would change everything for Jon Snow too. Instead of growing up as a bastard in the north, Jon, or Rhaegon, would have been raised as the legitimate heir to the Iron Throne. The entire course of his life would be different. No need for the Night's Watch, no brooding about his parentage, just the burden of a crown. Now, let's turn to another Targaryen who, in our timeline, played a pivotal role in shaping the future of Westeros, Daenerys Targaryen. What would her life have been like if Rhaegar had won the Battle of the Trident? If Rhaegar triumphed and took control of the Iron Throne, the fate of Daenerys would change dramatically. Let's consider her birth. In our timeline, she was born on Dragonstone, as her mother, Queen Rhaella, fled the chaos of King's Landing with Viserys. But in this alternate reality, King's Landing might not fall at all. Rhaella would have remained in the capital as queen, meaning Daenerys could have been born in King's Landing itself, surrounded by wealth and luxury rather than hardship. With her position as a royal princess, Daenerys would have been a valuable asset for forming alliances. If Rhaegar had survived and secured his rule, it's possible Daenerys could have been betrothed to a powerful lord within Westeros. Perhaps someone from the north, like a Stark or a Tully, to mend relations with houses that had rebelled. Alternatively, Rhaegar might have sought to strengthen Targaryen ties with another powerful southern house, possibly the Tyrells or Martells. Alternatively, had Rhaegar married Lyanna, Daenerys could still play a significant role in the Targaryen dynasty, perhaps as a trusted advisor, or as a key figure in helping raise Jon Snow, Aegon Targaryen. In fact, Daenerys and Jon, who in our timeline end up connected by their shared Targaryen heritage, would likely have grown up knowing each other. Instead of two strangers who meet under tense circumstances, they could have been raised as siblings or cousins. Now, imagine how Daenerys' character arc would change if she never had to endure the hardships of exile, loss, and betrayal. Would she still have the same passion to break the wheel of oppression? Without the crucible of exile, would she have ever embraced the identity of a liberator, or would she simply be another royal figure content with her life in the Red Keep? There's also the matter of her dragons. In our timeline, Daenerys' connection with the dragons was deeply symbolic, representing her rebirth and rise to power. But in this alternate scenario, would dragons still have a role in Daenerys' story? Without the conditions that led to her journey to the east, she might never have acquired the dragon eggs. The Targaryens may have lost their dragons long ago, but without Daenerys' magical rebirth, it's possible that this powerful symbol of Targaryen rule would remain a thing of the past. Westeros, under Rhaegar's reign, might have been a land without dragons, leading to a very different future in terms of warfare and the Targaryen legacy. Finally, we come to the fifth point, the threat from the north. Even with a Targaryen victory at the Trident and peace restored in the realm, the danger from beyond the wall wouldn't simply vanish. Rhaegar might have been one of the few kings who took the threat of the White Walkers seriously before they became an imminent danger. Unlike Robert Baratheon, who largely ignored the warnings from the north, Rhaegar might have sought to strengthen the Night's Watch, send more resources to the wall, or even organize expeditions beyond it to uncover the true nature of the threat. Could Rhaegar have been the king who prepared Westeros for the long night? It's possible. With his belief in destiny and the prince that was promised, he might have seen his victory at the Trident as part of a larger narrative, a narrative that would eventually lead to the survival of the realm when winter truly arrived. And with Aegon Targaryen, or Jon Snow, growing up in the capital, would he have been trained from a young age to fulfill this prophecy? Could we see Jon as a warrior prince leading Westeros against the army of the dead? So, there you have it. Rhaegar Targaryen's victory at the Battle of the Trident would have reshaped Westeros in ways we can only imagine. The rebellion would have been quashed, the Targaryen dynasty preserved, and key figures like Lyanna Stark, Jon Snow, and Daenerys Targaryen would have taken on entirely different roles. Daenerys, in particular, might have lived a life of privilege and power, rather than one of hardship and exile. And perhaps Westeros would have been better prepared for the threat of the White Walkers. But as with any alternate history, it's impossible to say for sure how it all would have played out. Let me know in the comments what you think. Would Rhaegar's victory have led to a golden age for Westeros, or just different kinds of conflicts and struggles? Thanks for watching, and be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on all of our deep dives into the world of Game of Thrones. This has been the Critical Analysis Hub, and I'll see you in the next video.